She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell helped Epstein abuse hundreds of underage girls. But what did she say in this new interview that has shocked the world?
So I said, why are you having all these girls come in and sleep with your boyfriend? And she was like, so I don't have to do it all the time.
I obviously wish I'd never met him, looking back now.
Epstein, one of the most infamous in history, could not have built his empire without his partner, Ghislaine Maxwell.
She was the organizer. She was the engineer. She orchestrated everything.
Ghislaine groomed young girls for Epstein, with reports stating she often targeted those who had already experienced sexual abuse, as the pair believed these victims were less likely to fight back or report it.
She hunted, she preyed on these girls and procured them for sexual exploitation and trafficking. That's a monster.
Ghislaine would often approach these girls under the pretense of offering them legitimate work.
She just seemed very nice, and she said, I've got a person that I know who's actually looking for a traveling masseuse.
But the reality was far more sinister.
That I'm the cruelest, meanest, horriblest person who's committed crimes.
Once these so-called masseuses met Epstein, something terrible would happen.
95% of the time, there was always sex involved. Jeffrey couldn't take a 2-hour flight without having to like that's how sick this man was.
After the assault, the secretary would allegedly pay the girls around 300 pounds, encouraging them to return. Ghislaine oversaw the entire operation, helping build a network that expanded across the world.
I mean, how evil do people have to be to just let that happen?
At one point, one of the victims confronted Ghislaine directly, asking why she was helping Epstein do all of this. Her response horrified the young teen.
So I said, why are you having all these girls come in and sleep with your boyfriend? And she was like, so I don't have to do it all the time.
Epstein and Ghislaine's network was filled with powerful figures, athletes, politicians, actors, members of the elite who shared the same perversion as the New York financier. The couple trafficked girls to these men in exchange for money, protection, and influence.
But I knew I had to keep him happy because that's what Jeffrey and Ghislaine would expect from me.
For years, Epstein and Ghislaine operated freely, exploiting hundreds of girls. But eventually, law enforcement caught up with them. In 2019, Epstein was arrested on trafficking charges, finally bringing the abuse to a halt. Less than a year later, Ghislaine was arrested by the FBI in Bradford, New Hampshire, where she had been hiding in a secluded property under an alias. But before Epstein could publicly name his most powerful clients, something shocking happened. He was found dead in his cell. An investigation was immediately launched. The night of Epstein's death was filled with disturbing irregularities, making it difficult for many to accept the official ruling of suicide.
The CCTV cameras were off, prison guards were asleep, he didn't have a cellmate, he'd been dead for 2 to 6 hours according to the autopsy. The hospital staff weren't interviewed by police. No photo was taken of his body when it was found.
Ghislaine was eventually found guilty on multiple charges, including sex trafficking of a minor and conspiracy to recruit and groom underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. She was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, along with a $750,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release after completing her sentence. Today, Ghislaine is held at FCI Tallahassee, a low-security federal prison for women in Florida, where inmates must strictly follow institutional rules.
So it has to be a prescribed way, otherwise you can get what's called a shot.
Despite her conviction, Ghislaine continues to maintain her innocence, even claiming that Virginia Giuffre, the alleged victim of Prince Andrew, made her story up.
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions, and each time she speaks, there's a different version with a fake.
Not only that, but Ghislaine also believes Epstein was murdered.
Do you believe that he committed suicide? Because many don't.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered.
Thanks for watching.